It's K97.5, a real hip hop and R&B. I am your girl, Royalty Big C, not the little one. And today in the building, I got the beautiful Kiana Ledé. How you
I'm
doing?
doing good. How about you?
I am doing fantastic.
Good.
Now, I want to know first, is this your first time being to North Kakalaki?
No, it's
Okay.
not. But I haven't really explored much. I
Okay.
would love to do that.
So what I'm hearing is you've never had Bojangles.
No.
Okay.
So
Before
I
you
need to
leave,
go before I leave.
you gotta go to Bojangles, go get you a three-piece Supreme. Do you like honey mustard?
Of course.
Okay, well, three-piece Supreme, honey mustard, okay?
Okay, got it.
Okay, all
Got it.
right. All right, now let's get to the real stuff here. I already told you I am a huge fan and I am so glad you are here today.
Thank you.
Now, some people may not know because I did not know this, but you are originally from South Phoenix and you grew up doing pageants.
I
Can you
did.
tell me a little bit about that?
Yeah. I was doing pageants from like 4 years old to 15, and I won almost every year I competed except for one.
Okay.
We don't talk about that one though. That never existed. But it was really fun. I mean, I loved it at the time. It was a lot of pressure to be under as a child. But it taught me a lot. It taught me how to public speak, how to do interviews, how to perform. I just, I guess, was practicing my craft since I was 4 years old. And there was a lot of other girls there. So it was really fun. I made a lot of friends and had a good time.
So you obviously were able to have that confidence because of the pageants. But what was the moment when you were just like, I want to do music and I feel like I could be really good at it too?
It was always the plan since
Mm.
I was a kid. I will say that my mom made that decision for me pretty early on. She was just like, "You like to sing, so this is what you're going to do." But I'm so grateful for that actually because like I said, I got to practice my craft since I was super young. And it is something that I love to do. So I'm lucky for sure.
I do want to talk about that a little bit more because I know some artists say their parents weren't too on board with them saying they wanted to do music. But how did it influence your career that you had someone in your corner like that? Like, no, this is what you want to do, so this is what you're
Mm.
going to do.
Um hmm I think the most positive way that it influenced my career is that I felt like I could never give up
Mm,
because there was no plan B for me.
I
I
love
tried to
that.
come up with a plan B, but there was nothing else I liked. I hated school. So, like, if I were to be anything else, it would be a therapist, but I hate school. So that
Oh,
would never happen. But the way that I express and practice my love and curiosity for people is through music. So, yeah, I guess there was never a plan B if I ever had any failures, which I've had multiple in my career, as everybody does. My mom was like, pick it back up and go. So it, it made me focus and choose not to let failure get me down for too long. And I knew I always had that support system from my mom.
that is beautiful. Now we're gonna get back on that therapist topic in a second because I know you're big on mental health and I wanna get into that as well. But fast forward, you had a hit first album, Kiki. How did that change how you viewed yourself as an artist?
Mm, I think Kiki was really a surprise how much success it had because we were locked up.
Mm.
And I was expecting to go on tour and do all these performances and promote the album, and I didn't get to do none of that. So it was really exciting to see the growth that I had and that my music had at that time. It definitely changed the way I viewed myself because I felt like people were really listening, and I felt like I could reach people in a different way, and I gave people something to listen to and to celebrate while we were all going through a really confusing time. So, really, the support that I was able to offer people and that I was able to support more people at that time, it makes me feel like I have a lot of value. And I've only felt that more and more. there's moments where I get down on myself and, I have goals. So I want to complete those goals. So sometimes I get down on myself about that, but at the end of the day, I look back and I'm like, this is such a blessing. I'm really, really grateful for all that I have and all the people that are listening and my fans. So yeah, it's beautiful. When I look back at it, I'm like, I never thought that I would actually be able to do this. I've been doing it for a long time, so
Yeah.
it's really nice to see I am successful and I can do this for a living. I can support myself with something that I love.
For sure. Now we're gonna go ahead and get into it because you touched on it again, so I feel like it's only right. I'm a huge mental health advocate, and I know you are big on mental health. So how do you tie that into your music?
I think, first of all, just being super vulnerable and open is one way to promote therapy, I guess, because being so open allows people to not feel like they're alone in whatever emotion I'm portraying and story that I'm telling in each song. So that's one. Two, I feel like with grudges, I got into it a lot more. I talked about the grudges that I had with myself and my mental health and my daddy issues in that album a lot more than I did in other albums. And it allowed me to speak about it more, like in interviews like this. I love just sharing the different things that I learned, giving people secondhand therapy over interviews and Instagram lives and my music. So it allowed me, my love and passion about mental health allowed me to bring it more into my music, which brought it more to the people that listen to my music.
I love that. Now, switching gears a little bit, one of the things that I love about you, Kiana, is that you make that feel good R&B for the girls. But when you really listen, you be like, "Oh, wait a minute, this nasty!" Like, hold on. So I do want to know, like, if we were to go to the studio right now, what would a writing session look like with you?
Oh, um, life just be happening. So I feel like
Okay.
I have a lot of shit, a lot of stuff to talk about all the time. Sorry, I really have a hard time censoring myself. If you listen to my music, I have a hard time censoring myself. I have a lot to talk about because I go through life constantly, as we all do. So usually it starts with a therapy session.
Okay.
I'm talking to the people that I trust the most, the people that I write songs with. So I would start by telling them everything that's going on in my life. And then I would pick a track that I love, that I feel, or we'd start from scratch and go with chords. And whatever I felt, I would just go in the booth and sing different melodies that felt right.
Ooh.
And then we would put the puzzle together by writing the lyrics to it according to the story that I'm telling and the melody that I was feeling.
Okay, that's really dope. Now you just released a new album, Cut Ties, 10 out of 10.
Thank you.
Do you have a favorite song on that album?
It's so hard because it always depends on my mood. Today, I'm gonna say No Stress
Ooh, okay. I like that one.
because I'm feeling a little spicy today,
Okay.
but in a great way, in a good way.
I want to say my favorite is Space and Cookies. We're gonna say we're gonna call it Cookies. How about that?
I love that. I should have said that in the clean version.
Space
What was
and
I
Cookies.
doing?
So look, you are on tour right now. You are going to be performing tonight with Miss Jhené Aiko. How has it been on tour with such phenomenal women in the industry?
It's been so great. I mean, it's tour, so stuff is always going to be popping up, and it's the same with every tour. Something always happens. You're performing almost every day, but I feel like the environment that I'm in, the environment that Jhené creates, makes things a little bit less stressful, and you feel a lot more appreciated when somebody like Jhené, who's so successful and respected, puts flower petals in front of your green room every day.
Oh, wow.
Goes in and sages your green room and puts glitter all over the floor like the fairy she is. I never had that experience, so it's been really amazing because she is my favorite artist
Okay.
and she does things like that. It's only made me love her more. So it's been so much fun.
And when was your first time meeting her? Was it going into this tour, or you guys?
So the first time I seen her in person, we were doing the same. It was called Girls Fest,
Okay.
and she walked past me in the hallway, and I waited, and I got so starstruck, and I waited till she got around the corner, and I was like, "You're beautiful." That was the first time I ever seen her in person, and then the first time I met her in person was we were both performing at the same festival. It was during Soul Bloom, and I was going backstage to my trailer, like my green room, and as I was walking past, she had just finished her performance, and she had security around her and like a bunch of people trying to talk to her. And I was like, I'm not even gonna bother her because there's too much going on, and she's probably tired after performing. And then as I'm walking past this like giant swarm of people, I just hear Kiana, and I was like, oh my god. Oh my God. And then I walked over and she's like, let's take a picture. And I'm like, okay. So then I met her and she was really, really sweet. And I carried that on with me. And I'm just like, every time I see her, I'm like, oh my God. I feel a lot more comfortable now because we've been around each other so many
Yeah.
times. But I'm still inside that middle schooler, high schooler, and
Fangirl.
adult fangirl is like, oh my God. So it's fun. It's great.
That is so dope. Now you are literally performing on her tour. Now, what can we expect from you tonight? I will be out there.
Ooh, I think just the range of emotions you're going to be able to feel during my set. It's a much shorter much shorter set than I've done in the past. I mean, my
Okay.
tour was what, an hour and a half. I do an hour and a half show because I want to sing everything and
Yeah.
have so much fun with everybody in the audience. But tonight's a much shorter set, but you're gonna be able to still feel that range of emotions that you hear and feel in my music.
So excited to see you. Now, please, before I get you up out of here, let them know where they can find you. Let them know where they can get that new album.
Yes, everything socials is at Kiana Ledé, Kiana Ledé, and then you can stream the album anywhere and buy it on iTunes.
All right, you heard it here first. Kiana Ledé will be performing tonight at the Lenovo Center. Thank you so much, beautiful.
Thank you so much.